I'm just making a quick coffee run for work. So, I just figured I'd just talk really quick about my thoughts on the Brembos and stuff like that. So for this car, I am running 09 STI Brembos, DBA T2 or T3, I forget. Slotted rotors, Goodrich stainless steel lines, posi quiet pads, and AT Type 200 fluid. One thing to get asked a lot, are Brembos worth it? And you gotta ask yourself, what are you doing with the car? If you're not really gonna be hitting it hard or driving it like in track-like conditions or anything like that, answer is you probably don't need them. Again, like, if you don't really need something and you want it to want it, or I mean, if you don't really need something and you want it to have it type deal, you know, Brembos are expensive, and you know, if you want like showy parts, you can kind of put the money in somewhere else if you want it. You can probably, you know, for the 5th gen GT, the stock brakes and stuff, by no means are they bad. They're just not great once you start bumping up the power, and once you start driving it pretty hard. All right, dude, that's not a turn, but. One of the things I would recommend if you are just looking for a good brake upgrade, you're not trying to break the bank with buying STI Brembos and stuff like that, I'd recommend just keeping your stock calipers, upgrading the pads, getting some stainless steel lines, and upgrading the fluid and the rotors. With that combo, you're probably going to get a very responsive brake feel. My biggest issue with the stock brakes is after you're driving them really hard, you know, obviously you know, you're going to get brake fade, and the stock calipers and stuff are a lot more susceptible to brake fade than my Brembo setup now. And you know, if you're looking into getting Brembos, there's a couple things you're going to want to look out for. You're going to want to make sure that none of the threads are helicoiled or anything. That's really common. They strip out super easy. They're kind of a pain, so you're going to want to look for a set with good threads. Going over these train tracks are the worst. Okay, let me squeeze through this motherfucker. Yeah, so you're going to want to look for that. Almost stalled. You know, the newer the Brembos you pick up, less chance they're going to need a rebuild. You know, probably have less miles and all that kind of good stuff on it. So those are a cool thing to look out for. Rebuilding them, really not that bad. You can either split the caliper. They do use a stretch bolt, so you're technically not supposed to, but you can split the caliper and then you know, take it apart, and you have to just replace the seals pretty much. Do that, that's a good option. Oh yeah, good morning, people. Yeah, that was just kind of my thoughts on that. If you're doing track-like driving, Brembo is definitely something that's a worthwhile upgrade, in my opinion. Bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
Alright, yeah, so before I head back, so, you know, I do think Brembos are one of those things that are, you know, if you need it and you drive hard and you're hitting the twisties and stuff hard, you're doing track-like driving, Brembo's definitely something I think is worth it to upgrade to. If you're not, and you're just looking for a little bit better pedal feel and stuff like that, keep your stock calipers, upgrade the pads, rotors, and lines, fluid if you want to. Get a master cylinder brace. I don't have one of those, but that should be more than sufficient for your needs. But you know, I think Brembos give you that repeated stopping feel, and I can also run a bigger rotor, so more surface area the better. One of the other things is you can look into the Subaru 4 and 2-pot calipers. Those are actually oh, there's a 4th gen GT. Really not a bad upgrade to consider at all. The only thing about those is sometimes they actually can run a smaller diameter rotor, and that's more surface area is better. Probably a key thing to take away. So you don't want to downgrade when you're trying to upgrade your brakes. That makes sense. So again, just comes down to doing research, look into things that have worked. You might need adapters for certain setups. For the 5th gen GTs, if you get the STI blacks, which are the 08 plus STI calipers, those are direct bolt on. All you have to do is beat the shit out of the rear dust shields and you're good to go. But you know, if you're upgrading to Brembos, make sure you upgrade the rest of your stuff. You're going to be right there. So with your caliper off, you're going to put the STI Brembos on. You're going to want to look into a good pad for a daily. I run the Posi Quiets. They're cheap and I have no complaints about them. You're going to want to look up rotors. I'm a fan of just slotted. I don't like the drilled and slotted stuff. So I went with the DBA selection. Also, since you're right there, you might as well swap out to stainless steel lines. And then, you know, with your rotors, pads, lines, caliper done, you're going to have to bleed it anyways. Why not put in some better fluid or just some new fluid? So, you know, you can look into the AT Type 200 I have or whatever else. So it comes down to your, you know, what you use the car for. If you think it's necessary, and you think it's actually going to help improve your driving experience, I think Brembos are 100% worth it. If you're not going to drive the car hard all the time, you just want a little bit better response. Another good thing to look into is just upgrading keeping your calipers and upgrading all the rest of the equipment around it. So those are my quick thoughts on the Brembos, and you know, my opinions on, you know, if you want to get it or if you don't. Probably gonna make another walk around video of the setup on this car, just showing like the calipers, the pads, all the hardware and the fitment and that kind of stuff when the car gets put up on stands, and we can take a look at that, just kind of make another update video. And yeah, I think that's it for now, guys. Heading back to work, so have a good day.